Oh man, okay, so I'm gonna just start with the bad news. It looks like these animals, some of them are showing signs of the BRD is coming back. These animals, they don't have any vaccinations in them. A majority of these animals don't have any vaccinations in them. So this morning, I got another 2 animals treated for BRD. I gave them a retreat with fluorphenicol. I got several animals that just do not look like they're doing very good. My one sick animal from yesterday, she's not doing good. I got her put up front. I let her out front, and she's just laying over there in the corner. And she drank a lot of water this morning, but she still ain't eating food. And I can feel the heat coming off of her head. And it's Sunday, so all of the vets are closed. I can't go and get her any fever reduction medication. And so it ain't looking good for her. Several of these animals look like they're sick. And so that's the bad news. And I wouldn't really say I have a whole lot of good news this morning. As of right now, I owe the bank between $32,000 to $34,000. Subtracting that one animal that I got sitting out front, I got 27 animals. From these 27 animals that I got left, I'm likely gonna lose a few more. And so my big plan right now, my big idea plan right now is that I need to pay the bank back. Whatever I owe the bank, I need to pay that back first. Once I've paid the bank back, I am going to see what money I have left over, and then that's going to be the money that I reinvest into my farm. Oh, it is very unfortunate, and I know that it's kind of jaw-dropping. A lot of people, they've never actually seen a farm before. They've never gotten to see what a farm looks like in real life. A lot of people, they've got like this fairy tale image of what farming is, and farming, it's not exactly what people make it out to be. There's a lot of things that go on. Sometimes, barns catch on fire. Sometimes, a flash flood will kill, thousands of animals at one time. And, the unfortunate part of farming is that, if I were to start a different, I know I've said this before, but if I were to start a different business, right? If I were to start a different business, like if I were to go into the retail business, and I were to lose, $25,000 worth of merchandise. Let's say I started an online bookstore, right? And I bought $25,000 worth of books, and I didn't sell hardly a single book. At the end of the day, it's kind of like that sucked. But at the end of the day, it's like, I've got $25,000 worth of books that I couldn't sell. But in the cattle business, if I make a big mistake, I wouldn't say it's a big mistake. If I make a $25,000 mistake, if I objectively say I made a $25,000 mistake, I just watched 45 animals die, right? That's the difference between being a farmer and being someone someone who owns a bookstore. There are a lot of similarities, but there are also key differences. But like in any business, if in any business, I'm in business, the reason for me to have a business is for me to make money, right? That's the whole point. Like, I'm not gonna, I'm not here to live my fairy tale, my fairy tale dreamland. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to, at the end of the day, I'm here to make money. And as a farmer, as a rancher, I'm here to take care of the animals. But as a businessman, I am here to make money, right? And so, the thing about this farm, that I'm trying to find, that I am looking to find, I am looking to find a balance in, is that if I have 10 acres of grass, right? If I grow 10 acres of grass, and that 10 acres of grass costs me on average, let's just say $500 a month, If that 10 acres of grass on average cost me $500 a month, and that $500 a month I'm able to grow enough grass. Okay, so the idea of diminishing returns, right? So if I invest more than $500 a month, let's say that I decide that I'm going to invest $600 a month instead of $500 a month. If I invest $600 a month, the amount of return that I get on that $600 the amount of benefit that I gain from investing $500, the amount of benefit that I get per dollar from investing $500 is greater than the amount of benefit that I would get from investing $600. And when I'm investing $600 a month, I also run into a situation where it's, even if the weather is good, if I put more fertilizer on the grass, I could just end up causing a lot of scouring in the cattle. And so it's a delicate balance between many factors. My business, my farm, everything, my life, everything is it's a balance between many things, right? Because in my head, I'm like, if I can invest $500 a month and just do what I know how to do, just go out here and grow some grass. If I grow grass and I put $500 a month into it, when the weather is good, I can raise about 100 to 100, I would say about 100 animals. If they're 3.5 weight, I can put about 100 to 120 animals on the grass, right? Realistically, speaking objectively, I'm not going to go and put 100 animals on my grass. That's not what I'm saying I'm going to do. But if I were just going to be objective, if I were just going to say, like look at these animals here, right? I've got probably 10 animals that are close to between 700 and 900 pounds, right? Even if they were this size, if I had 60 of them on this field, I'm not going to raise animals to 900 pounds anymore, but even, let's just take this for example. If I had 60 animals on my 10 acres that were 900 pounds, if I supplemented them with 6 to 10 pounds of concentrate a day, they would not be able to eat 10 acres of grass. This grass that I am growing on my 10 acres, objectively, if I were just going to speak objectively, I'm not saying, I think that a lot of people, they get confused with that. They misunderstand what I'm saying when I say that I can put 120 animals on my field. I'm not saying that I'm going to go and put 120 animals on my field, but if I were going to graze, if I were legitimately going to look to put enough animals on 10 acres to graze 10 acres of grass, I would need like 120 animals. If they were 3.5 weight, if they were even like 7, 8, 900 pounds, I would still need like 60 to 70 of them. I got 10 animals right now that are about between 7 to 900 pounds, and they're not even putting a dent in the grass. They're not even putting a dent in it. I mean, there's so much grass growing in all over the place. 10 animals is not, it's ridiculous. Like if my plan is to feed 10 acres of grass to 10 animals, it's not going to happen. It's not even close. And so, right now, my big thing is that I need to balance, because right now, if I really want to do everything that I want to do, like I look at my life and I say, man, I really want to farm, and I really want to farm to the best of my capability, right? I want to farm to a degree that, I feel like I'm really accomplishing something and it's really challenging, and I'm actually doing something. It's going to cost me $500 a month to grow this grass. And 10 acres of grass, it ain't really challenging. I'm not saying, 10 acres, I'm not going to say that is not challenging, because, that it does still take a lot of mental, I still do go out there, and it is very fulfilling work. I'm just going to be honest about it. A lot of things happened these past few weeks, and I think it really changed me. I think it really did. It really changed me, but the changes, I think that they're going to be subtle until they become more apparent, right? It really did change me. It changed me. I don't know exactly how to say it, and I don't exactly know how it changed me, but it did change me. And it changed me subtly, and I believe that as I live my life, the changes will become more and more apparent. But you know, growing 10 acres of grass, there is even 10 acres of grass, there is something fulfilling about it. But if I were going to, you know, if I were going to really do my absolute best work, right? If I was going to grow grass and I was going to do my absolute best work, this is a good way to put it for everything. If I was going to do my absolute best work in terms of planting grass, it would cost me about $500 a month. If I have $500 a month, I can do the best work that I can possibly do. For $500 a month on 10 acres, I can grow the grass to the best of my capacity. $500 a month. And the thing about cattle is that cattle is a little bit different, you know, because if I'm not going to take leverage to purchase cattle if I don't have any cash. If I don't have any cash sitting in the bank, I'm not going to take leverage. You know, that's very, very risky, you know, because at the end of the day, if I take a loan from the bank and I take a loan for, let's say I take a loan for $25,000, I'll have to pay the bank $250 a month. And so if I don't have any cash, that's a big problem. That's a big problem. If I miss one payment on that payment, the interest rate skyrockets, and now I'm sitting there paying 28% interest on a loan, on a $25,000 loan, and I don't want to be in that situation. So if I don't have any cash, I'm not going to take leverage to buy cattle. And there's a lot of things going on right now. I'm not going to purchase cattle until I'm 100% certain that my animals are okay and my animals are 100% healthy and they've been straightened up and everything and they're all good to go. I'm not going to purchase animals until that point. And I'm also financially not going to purchase animals until I make sure that my financials are okay, until I make sure all of my bills have been properly managed, etc., etc. And so and this time around, I am going to be, one of the things that I'm going to change is that I'm going to go to the sale barn and I'm going to purchase the cattle myself. I'm going to purchase the cattle myself. I got my things moved around here so that I have a better working system for the cattle. And if I were going to, okay, so in this idea of me doing my best work, you know, what could I do to do my best work? I'm going to start myself on 5 calves every 2 weeks. So 5 calves every 2 weeks turns into 120 cattle a year. And if I run 5 calves every 2 weeks, that gives me plenty of time to look after each individual animal, and it gives me enough time to get the animals all, put on a grain bucket and everything, get them all preconditioned properly, get them all vaccinated, get them all medicated if necessary. It gives me enough time to do all of that, right? And so I'm going to start myself on 5 calves every 2 weeks, or which is 120 calves a year. So I'm going to be running 120 cattle a year. And I'm going to do it by bringing in 5 calves every 2 weeks. And if I think I can handle 5 calves every 2 weeks, I'll move up to 6. And then I'll move up to 7, and then I'll do it like that. But I'm not going to go and find somebody that tells me that their cattle are pooping gold. And I'm not going to go and look for people who, because I know that this is kind of horrible to say, and I don't really feel good about saying this, but a lot of people just completely suck. They are going to say, oh man, like this man, oh man, my cattle have had 6 rounds of vaccinations. They've all been blood tested for viruses. Oh man, these are all my cattle. They all came from my herd. Oh, well, I got 500 mama cows walking around on the field and they're dropping calves all the time. These calves are from my herd. All of that stuff, but a lot of people are like that. And so because me, I'm a one-man team, right? I don't have any help. When it comes to planting the grass, I do it all by myself. 95% of the medication that goes into the cattle, I give it to them. The feed that the animals are eating, I give it to them. I plan it out for them and all that stuff. And so 99% of everything that happens on my farm is my responsibility. And so, I'm going to be doing everything by myself, and I'm going to do everything by myself, and that means that I can only do as much as I can handle, and I'm not going to rely on other people. I'm not going to rely on people to precondition animals for me. If every once in a while I have an animal that I think that needs to go to the vet, I can just load them up and go to the vet and take them to the vet. But 99% of the things that I'm going to do by myself. You know, and that includes preconditioning the animals. I'm going to bring in several iron cattle myself. I'm going to bring them in myself. I'm going to get them trained to a feed bunk. I'm going to get them all vaccinated. I'm going to give the sick ones antibiotics myself. And so I'm going to be doing everything by myself from now on. Until things change, until I see a reason to change things up. And it's going to have to be a very, very, very good reason. But I told myself, okay, one thing, like if I was going to go and ask for help, what would I do? One thing that I wouldn't mind doing is that if I found a good bovine vet, I wouldn't mind like taking all of my animals to the vet before I brought them here. You know, but the vet here locally, they close on Saturday afternoons. And so I told myself that would be one thing that I wouldn't mind asking for help. You know, I wouldn't mind taking all of my animals, like if I bought them from the sale barn, take them straight to the vet, have the vet check them all out, and then bring them here. But that's the thing about taking them to the vet is that, you know, if I only got 5 animals, the vet, they pretty much always do the same thing. If the animal has a fever, they give them a shot of antibiotic. If the animal has a fever, they give them a shot of Banamine. If the animal doesn't have a fever, they give them a vaccination shot. I mean, they always do the same thing. And so if I can save, you know, if I can save $200, if I can save $100, you know, every 2 weeks, you know, I mean, and I can do it myself. It's not that big of a deal, right? And so as of right now, I'm just going to do everything by myself. And I'm going to, I'm going to go to the sale barn and I'm going to bring in calves myself. I'm going to pace myself for 5 calves every 2 weeks, which is 120 calves a year. And if I see an opportunity, like if I think that I can really handle the 5 calves every 2 weeks, I'll go to 6 calves, and then I'll go to 7 calves if I really think that I can handle it. But the thing is that, you know, even at 120 calves a year, you know, let's say I go from 120 and I go to 170, right? You know, if I'm, you know, at 100, I'm just, I can make myself some money. It ain't a big deal. And, I'm just going to have to do things myself until I have a very good reason. Or if I have somebody that I genuinely could ask for help from, until that point, I'm just going to do it by myself. And I'm going to keep it on going. But my animals, I still got several sick animals. I gave 2 animals a shot of medication yesterday. I gave another animal a shot of medication. Or I gave 3 animals a shot of, or excuse me. I gave almost 5 animals a shot of medication yesterday, I think. I think it was 5, something like that. I gave 2 animals a shot of medication in the morning and 3 animals a shot of medication in the evening. And then I gave another 3 animals a shot of medication this morning. And so I'm still looking to get my herd stabilized. I'm still looking to get my herd healthy. And once my herd is healthy, I'm going to take a look at my financials. And I need to make sure that my financials are healthy. And once my financials are healthy, I'm going to progress with my plan. I've got my plan set up. I need to get a little bit of work done over here to get a sick pen. I'm getting a permanent sick pen put up. This old dog house setup that I have, I'm gonna get that turned into a permanent sick pen and a permanent onboarding pen for new animals. And so I'm gonna get that done. And then I think my mom and I were talking about, I think it's gonna cost about $2,000, and so we got to get that done. But I think it's gonna be a very good addition to my ranch. Anytime I bring in animals, I can just drop them off at the catching pen, and then I can open up the gate and then let them into the holding pen. And if they go into the holding pen, I can just hold them there for 2 to 3 days when they're first here. I can teach them. I can put them on the feed bunk and keep an eye on them, make sure they're eating. And once I know that they're eating, I can let them out. And if they're not eating, I gotta really get on it and make sure that I figure out what's going on. And if they're in there, it's real easy for me to catch them, to put them in the chute for medication. And so I'm getting things worked around on my ranch. I'm getting things worked around again. And I think it's going to be probably 2 to 3 weeks before I really get my plan progressing forward again, before I really get my ranch moving on full steam again. because over the next 2 to 3 weeks, my main priority is to make sure that the animals that I have right now are healthy and they're good to go. That's my main priority right now. But here in 2 to 3 weeks, I'll have a good idea of what my financials look like as well. And once I have a good idea of what all that stuff looks like, I will be able to proceed forward with my plan. And I have my plan set up. I have my plans all made. The man is coming by on Wednesday to give me an estimate on the job. And we're going to get that all figured out. But that's it for me today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one.